We're gonna be live today.
Oh.
Just so, everyone can
Sure.
see what's going on out there. Yeah, you don't have to do anything crazy, just talk normally.
Yeah, we'll go through the agendas. This is.
But, you'll have to excuse me. I don't want to be rude, but I have to take this meeting.
I got lots of stuff. I got lots. Yeah. You're lots of stuff. I'm gonna inspect today, so.
Thanks, Ron. Thanks, Kelly.
Hey, Ron.
Hi. Hello.
How's it going?
Good, yourself?
Good. So John got some of the stakes and the urban gutter.
I've been up here, to be honest.
Yeah. I stopped and talked to him. He's gonna.
Okay.
Get this done, and then he's got Eric coming from the Walker project this way
Oh, sure.
after he's done over there.
I'm helping out. Awesome.
But we'll get it in today. Yeah, if they could get the silt fence stake down there too by the lake because, oh, it's all done? Okay.
Yep. You should finish that yesterday.
Well, we can go through this when we get on, but he's gonna be coming too, so he'll call, ticket in. He'll be here either later this week or Monday. I'll put out everything in for the whole deal.
So fence file rolls?
Yeah.
Okay. Who's updated? Schedule.
We kind of changed it around, like this was gonna be kind of phase one, we called it, whatever. We started over there, so now it's all right now, so. Phase one is actually where we started, phase two is here. Phase three is the pink one that they're just starting now, right?
Monday, they planning on taking that pavement up over there or
Next Monday.
for the one?
I mean, first priority obviously is to get this back to gravel.
So they might be, probably might be on the 10th or.
Yeah, Tom knows that, like I talked to him this morning and he's coming today if we get some stakes up. He'll be here today even, start grading on this. Some grading.
I seen them up there, already starting on the bigs.
Yep, they're on stakes.
Yeah.
I wanna get my eyes on them, as they go in, make sure.
Yeah.
If we have any adjustments, we can make those before Tom gets in and sets
Yeah.
final information, so.
Yeah.
I know. Brett said he wanted to do this or get us online here too. What? Must have a call.
Is this on? Is this going?
I see it's on.
I thought he might have turned something on.
It is, yeah, it says it's live.
Showing the camera.
It shows the camera, it shows the camera.
Just
Okay.
TV screens not on.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get it rolling, so.
Okay.
Cause it is after 10, so. Welcome to the weekly construction meeting for the 2026 project for the city of Monaga. We're gonna hold these from here on out for the work going on. So yeah, every Tuesday at 10 o'clock right here, if you're interested in coming, so, well, you have to come, so.
Yeah. Oh, that's fine.
But one,
This is the first one, correct?
this is the first one, yeah. Yeah, we held off. We realized we weren't in, the bulk of the residential areas, and that's where we get most of the questions. So the work, in front of City Hall here and so forth is pretty straightforward but yeah, here we go. We're gonna kick them off.
Yeah.
So today we're gonna start with, recent work completed. Todd, if you just want to touch on that and then step into What's coming up this next week?
Yeah, so we, have the water main done on phase one, which is Balsam and Second, to the west of here. That's all hooked up, the temp's all down, the houses are back on city water. The road is back to gravel. So it's accessible. Then we completed the pipe work on, phase two, which is, Birch Cedar Second, right up here. We have all the pipe work done, the temp is removed, everybody's back on city water. They're staking now, so Tom will be working on the street work shortly. As soon as the stakes are up. That'll probably take them through this week, some grading and getting this back to gravel. Our concrete guys are in line to come the week of the 3rd. Kind of questioning that a little bit, just from what I hear. But we're thinking of, getting a backup plan in case they, can't make it. Brings us into phase 3. Alex had just started over on, the sanitary between Evergreen and Cottonwood. They did the removals yesterday, starting with the pipe work today. It should take about 6 days, so probably a couple days next week yet. Do the sewer and the services over there. That's all there is. There's no temp water, there's no nothing, so that should go pretty good.
What were you saying for that? About 3 days?
What's that?
About 3 days?
6 days.
6 days?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's, there's a lot of services over there. I think there's like 15 or 16 or something. You know, so it's, that's a lot of services for that little area, and it's sandy and it's,
Yeah, that first block's gonna be the slowest.
Yeah,
part.
there's some
All the
overhead
overhead
wires.
wires crossing and stuff like that. That'll slow it down, but.
there's a lot of kids over there. I know this morning, I talked to them. I mean, maybe, when you see them standing there and Alex, you know, keep reminding them, you know, it's hard to, they're just curious, but there's loaders moving around and things and they're like all over the place over there.
Yeah.
I know we have some hot sticks up and one kid was shaking the hot stick. So we gotta just talk to them and make sure those things are pulled down at the end of the day too,
Yeah.
everything buried up nice and.
Yeah, it's best to talk to them.
Yeah.
We can't buy them all safety vests to be.
No, but there's definitely a lot of curious kids over there, so.
Right.
It's all right, they can sit there and watch or whatever, but you gotta be careful. So then, obviously Tom would, we're gonna set up the erosion control is probably later in the week for down by the lake. I call that phase 4. The trees are removed down there. And, we'll get the erosion control set up by the end of the week, or sure by Monday. They're in line for that. And then possibly start removals next week over there. I think I would like to just stay in front of us though, not get not too far ahead and then maybe we don't even have to take it all out, Alex, we could, just get some taken off where you're gonna start with your sewer first.
Yeah.
It is pretty sandy. It's hard to get around,
Low end of the sewer there is on Balsam, right?
Yeah.
Balsam on 87 there.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we'll try to just keep it to a minimum there and just take off what we need as we kind of need it in between when Tom is catching up on his gravel stuff. So,
So you think of Balsam area first? Start at that intersection.
yeah, where the sewer starts, yeah.
That's my point of interest.
Okay,
So you're aware that where they'll be starting?
yeah, so we always have to start where the deepest pipe is, the sewer. And then there's some storm down there too,
That all comes from,
comes
There
from
is-
down by the lake, so.
Yeah.
That's upcoming in the next couple weeks or whatever.
Okay.
start switching people on temp too.
Yeah, we'll have to switch over, like yesterday they set up the temp over there just so we don't lose days when we jump over there.
It's a tough water system.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
we
the
have-
main just set up, then he can back to it this week and then when we jump over there, we can just switch the houses over and not lose 3 days or whatever, so.
Okay.
So that's what they were doing yesterday.
Yep.
You're concerned about what that is?
No, I saw that, but obvious, I'm just.
Yeah.
More concerned about the longevity of it being torn up.
Yeah.
If it's anything like the longevity of this street for 2 months. Is that gonna be what's going on with that once you start?
Got a lot deeper sanitary sewer pipe over in this zone. Around here. That took a while. We had a lot larger water main install and trickier, I'll just call it.
Yeah, it was pretty tricky with this treatment plant and the water tower here, so it had to be done in certain steps. That took longer and.
Then we lost a week or more, week and a half probably with having to go over there first with waiting on the manholes too. So yeah,
That's right.
No, it's rolling along good now. It's a little more straightforward over there on that end.
But it's still going to be a process in a while. It's, a month plus
Yeah.
before we actually see
Yeah.
curb and gutter and pavement go down. I would say, right?
The main thing is to get back to gravel, that's where everybody
Yeah.
can drive on it. And, as long as he can stay caught up to us and, which he's committed to doing that. So, he's coming today as soon as he gets his stakes in there, so.
All right. Any questions on contractor's schedule, upcoming schedule? Where we're at?
Well, back to the balsam and first. So is there any days that are gonna be without water and without sewer?
No.
So there won't be any,
We do have to do water tie-ins, like you gotta put new valves on.
yeah, but if you're like on that street though with temp, you should.
No, we will have the temp. If you're on
Yeah.
that blocks, those people will all be on temp before we do any
so
tying
there
in.
won't be any times where you
Could be.
won't be without either service.
No,
Okay, then accessibility. Especially on that Balsam Street. The little house that's on the east side between the two, one on 87th end. On the corner, big house, so 14. So. The meetings is 6 months ago. Your right of way is 80 feet. That's what you supposedly have access to.
Yeah.
But you're gonna use all of that, is what I'm presuming.
We would use majority of that.
Yeah,
But
so when I'm,
the question is maybe with your water and sewer lines coming up to the property, those will go all the way to the right of way line.
yeah, and where does that start? How many feet from the house is that right away line?
Well, I'm not sure offhand, but we can pull up the drawing
Well-
or scale it off from there.
So my question is, on that east side, you have the tar, you have the parking lane, and then you have a 6-foot sidewalk. So that shrinks that front yard in half. Which I was told it wasn't going to, but I'm learning otherwise, now that you cut the big tree out there, the one and only tree. I didn't know that was going, and you say the sewer line is there.
Mhm.
So it better be right underneath that tree, because if it's not, I'm gonna ask for another tree because I didn't even know that tree was going. Then I talked to somebody and they said that sidewalk is now gonna be 18 feet from the front of the house. Which
I think that's
I-
right, but I don't know specifically.
was there, who's a Josh? There, Josh Johnson,
Justin?
Justin.
Okay.
I got his number from Brett.
Yeah, he's our field inspector. He's not
Okay.
here today, but
Okay, he's the one who was looking at the drawings and said that that front yard is now going to be cut in half, which is, it's about right where that tree was cut. So I'm just concerned about that, but then also concerned about that house and the one on the other house. I've got an Airbnb on both of them. So I have people coming all through August and I have forewarned them. However, if there's any days that are gonna be completely inaccessible, what's the plan? Like you'll tear it up for the day, fill it back up at night, like they can get home at night?
Yeah.
So if I say you gotta be out before the trucks roll in if you're gonna be gone for the day, but you don't come back until what, 5, 6 o'clock or?
Yeah, I mean, we'll be backfilling too as we go, so like it'll just be for a few, hour span that we're right in front of the house. Like right in front of the houses, and we'll have it all backfilled like up to us, so like. They'll be able to come in from the backside or whatever if we're digging once we get it all filled
So
up.
it won't be like this, where you have this a wide open hole for a month.
No,
Cause and I know True Star, that accessibility's been blocked
Yeah.
off for a month or more. So the drive-through anyway. So I'm like, are we gonna be looking at the same inaccessibility for a long period?
Well,
Or,
we just got done putting the pipe in Friday. We were just totally done with the pipe Friday and already we're staking it for the site, for the curve. And then he can build the road, so he's gonna be right behind us on when we're done.
but I'm just thinking from start to finish, this has been since what, May? When you first tore it?
Yeah, this was a really big project up in here, so you
Yeah.
can't really compare this to.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm just thinking. I'm hoping the other one is gonna be a little bit more timely. But if you say you're backfilling, it gives me a little assurance,
Mhm.
but, if there's somebody that I can communicate with and knowing if
Yeah, if you got,
it's gonna know the
Yeah.
timeline.
If you have Justin's
Yeah.
number, Justin's the best one to reach out to.
Yeah.
With questions as far as progress and where things are at for the week coming up, or even daily. So if you do have these questions, definitely reach out to Justin. If he can't answer them, he'll get in contact with me and we'll work with the contractor to answer any questions like that. I know access is a big thing. Since you have rentals, you have quite a few rental dates coming up for those homes.
Yeah, in July or August, might slack off some in September, but some people come for one night, some people come for 2 nights. So my concern is just being informed. So I can inform them. I don't want somebody showing up at 10 o'clock at night and not being able to at least get to the house. Or at least give them some direction of. I can't expect them to park on 87 and
So your Airbnbs are 14 and 20
14
or
and 19.
what's that?
14 and 19.
And 19?
19's right next door to the south
Oh, the south side.
corner.
So a question on house 14, I know there's an alleyway behind these homes.
There's an alleyway behind 19 that I'm gonna tell people to come through the VFW parking lot. And they can literally park on that lawn of 19. 14 is a little bit more boxed in because I don't have a rear access.
Away from the front.
Yeah, the only access is Balsam.
And they pull into the lawn in the back of the house.
Just off the alley.
No, there's a house that sits behind West Central.
That's right.
That-
Long house lot there.
Yep, our backyard literally fills up their whole backyard.
Okay. How about on the backside of lot 19 with
Well-
the property too?
They could accept, there's 2 garages that sit next door to each other.
Yep.
So anybody staying at 14, they would have to come on the lawn, walk around their garage, and then there's a white picket fence that goes almost to the street.
Mhm.
They'd have to go back around that and then back into the house. So
But would that be a better, would that be a better location for them?
That one will be fine.
We'll just
Rather
leave
than
this in.
87.
Yeah.
We won't take that up.
Right.
by the way.
Yeah, basically where our tent is.
87 or the west side.
We'll just
Well,
leave this in. We'll
They
just
they
take
would
it out
come
right here.
through the VFW parking lot, like they can't park there and then walk,
Those.
you know,
Yeah. So on a First Street Southwest,
Yeah.
we don't put any pipe on there. That's just street work. Okay, so we'll just,
That in the church,
yeah, so we'll just hold off on doing those removals, you know, we'll just, we do gotta put some storm pipe in just to the south of the house number 19. But we can just like end right there and just leave that for as long as we can, you know? So that
maybe
would
leave
be,
that tar
yeah,
and
we,
before you, and rip up balsam first. and then
yeah,
you
so
can
we
move
could,
on.
we could leave that car on for a while,
Mhm.
so we don't even have to disturb.
That's a good idea.
Well, that would give, that's right, north of the church and then, that could give people access
Yeah,
to your, yeah. That would be less confusing, I think. And then that big house would be taken care of, cause
Yeah.
I think they can just pull up on the big lawn on the east of that big house. There's a, and I'm okay with them pulling onto the grass. Just parking, you know, on the other side. That's
Middle house.
the middle house. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit trickier. I mean, only because these people that are coming and going, they don't know each other. You know, you're gonna have,
You know, people walking through.
well, I'm just saying, but
It's something maybe you could mention to the renters that, hey, there may be foot traffic going across the line with my other rental. You know, just to give them a heads up that if they do see that on,
yeah,
by chance on the dish.
Yeah.
Mentioned all that.
soon.
yeah. I think my biggest concern is just knowing when you're gonna do that and the heads up I can give them. So if somebody I can communicate, that's number one. So I can communicate with him, Justin.
Yeah,
But then is there any way that you could tell me what that distance is between the house and the sidewalk?
I can work on that.
Because now that the tree is gone, it was the only shade tree on the west side of that house. So the already hot upstairs is now gonna be 10 degrees hotter. But this is probably more of a city question, but the setback for building is 30 feet from a road.
From the right of way property line.
Yeah,
Yep. not
that's,
from the
I
road.
think that's a city setback for building.
Yep.
Okay, so now if I wanna add a porch or sun protection, something. I better be able to do that and not be within that 30 feet.
Yeah, you're already within 30 feet of the property line with that structure, so.
Well,
It should be
I'm not right now. But you mean that little base porch? That's already there?
That basically goes out to almost the right of way line or your property line. It goes out to within about 2 to 3 feet of the property line is the front edge of that porch.
The property line goes,
The property line sits about 2 to 3 feet out in front of your porch.
that's your 80-foot right of way that you're completely talking about.
Yes, yeah, the city has the street right away of about 80 feet.
And you're gonna use every 80 feet.
No. From the face of your house, let's go the front door of your building. Out 30 feet is where the sidewalk edge will sit. That's the closest.
So from the front door, 30 feet,
30 feet out is where
Will
the
be-
sidewalk
okay.
edge is.
So that porch that over the deck that's already on, you say that could be grandfathered, so I could build a awning that, you know, it wouldn't go over that, but
I'm not sure on all the specifics, but you'd have to work with the city as far as any building right run. Yeah, I don't know
well,
those conditions with.
And that ends up, that'll go through the planner, I can't remember his name. They got another person that comes and looks at that aspect for building on.
you mean a planner for the city that's on the council or?
Or no inspector,
The inspector
zoning
himself.
inspector. That they probably have a contract with an independent building inspector to come in and help the city staff with these questions that come up there on a daily basis.
That are just from some random place, or they,
No, they're not random.
Is it John Stewart by chance?
Yeah.
It is John.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, he does that for the city of Walker and for EC2. So he's well known. And
well,
good-
he's gonna look at the statutes and say, nope, you don't have a 30-foot setback. You know, he's not gonna understand that it got completely compromised by the design of something that was outside.
The 30-foot setback is from your property line of front back into a property is where you're supposed to construct a home. Now that's if you're constructing a new home or an addition. You're already into that because the house was built many, many years ago. And it just happened.
Right, right.
So
Yeah, that's crossing.
I'd say there's still a chance you can do something on your porch, but again, I can't make a call and I don't know the specifics, so. Something you'd have to work out with the city staff to get a request into them. Things like that.
These are just some.
That's all I know on that one.
Okay.
I think it would be logical.
Well, logical doesn't always apply in all situations.
Yeah. Cause you just have a flat porch out there now.
Currently, but I need some sort of sun protection for shade that I did not know was disappearing. So I'm curious where that sewer line actually truly falls.
Falls really close to the trenching that's gonna be, or I should say within the trenching that's going to be putting your sewer service back in place. Right, Mason?
Yeah, it would have, that tree would have toppled into the hole, so that's what the, and the problem was, is that it was just gonna fall right in the hole.
So you can continue to do these services.
Keep that from happening is when they put the tree down.
Yeah, that's all you gotta do.
Yeah, you do that.
Yeah, because it wasn't the sewer that was gonna do that, it was the water, gonna dig in the water, the tree would end up going in the hole. But the sewer's on that side, but the water's right on the edge of the road.
Yeah, your sewer service is probably within 2 to 3 feet of that tree trunk that was in place. Sewer line serving the home is probably about 8-ish,
Yeah.
7, 8-ish feet deep. So you gotta have a deep trench to get down to the existing pipe and replace it. That trench, widens out at the top. So the tree would have been completely lost. That's why it was taken down.
And then you are only replacing the line putting new line to the property line. So is it advantageous for homeowners to replace the remaining? And I know that's on us. But if it's 80-year-old sewer line, because I believe that's the oldest section in town. And I think that big house, 19 First Street, I believe that actually has been updated. I think the former owners had informed me that they had actually, so you may find that that's the new line,
Yeah.
but yeah, and I don't know what the issues or situation was back then, but I'm just wondering, otherwise as a homeowner, I'd probably have to come back and have that updated.
The recommendation, if you're having issues, have you ever had issues with?
No, I've never had issues.
So that's good. So you got time to replace it. You can also work with the contractors during the project to say, hey, do the extra 20 feet to get to my house and then you pay them separately.
Directly.
Yep. If they have time to do the work, and sometimes they do. So.
We don't like to do that. It's just, there's issues with it, you know.
Well, yeah, you're going in people's yards.
Yeah,
Burning
there's
them.
that, and then trying to get paid and stuff like that, we've got problems with, so we try to stay away from that. We'd rather have, you know, do it yourself, you know,
Yeah.
but we can look at it when
Yeah.
we're gonna
That's
hook
really
onto
good
it.
stretch
We
to the
can
house.
see what everything looks like, you know, I mean, you can't see that far in, but we can look with a light and you can get a good idea of what
The
it is.
condition of it.
Yeah.
Well, make a note that I would be willing to have that done. Or call me, I can give you my number.
You see at that point what it is.
Yeah, because if it's 80 years old, I would rather deal with the mess one time.
Ron, what do we usually see for those old service lines in that part of town? Are they cast iron or clay tile?
They've all differed. I think in there, it's been a lot of, clay.
Okay. Which is not as good as cast iron.
And with 19, it was clay and it was collapsed. So that's why they had to dig it up
Yeah.
and replace it.
And-
With 14, it's probably the same.
Yeah, because I think I've heard that 1914 and then that house on the very end. The one on 87, Tom Murphy said that they had to redo that sewer line,
You know,
but that strip is like the oldest strip in entire Monaga.
Yeah.
So it may be the one only clay connection that you'll find.
We've had a few.
Okay,
There's a lot of them up there.
okay.
Yeah.
So the clay was before the cast iron.
No, staying there.
About the same time, it just depended on what the
Oh, got
homeowner
it.
had put in. So it varies.
Yeah,
But this is a good time for them to get a visual on at the property line, your line going towards the house, what condition it is. And if you
Go 10 feet.
Yeah.
you want to give out your
yeah. Do
number?
you want my number?
Yeah.
218-251-6504.
Those just,
6504. Now Lake,
5-2 was the middle ones.
correct.
That'd be nice to see what it looks like and then. It's open, it's time to do something. That's
really
we can.
You look familiar. Do you live across the street?
No, that's Adam.
On the line of on the other side of town.
Oh, you do?
On
Okay.
the west side of town, yeah.
Okay, I thought I saw you yesterday and across the street.
Just a little more.
Oh, he probably was out and about. Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
Get away, get out of here. Here you got time, it's okay, so you guys can do that stuff. Ain't working, when the guy ain't working, you got time to pester him.
All right, any other questions before we let the contractor go?
Yeah, I'll put it in my calendar to be here next week.
Okay.
We're just gonna try to time it all with, staying in front of the crew, you know, so when they're done with the phase they're on now. Then we'll start removing there and then we'll keep it to a minimum, you know, we won't take the whole thing off everywhere. Right away, the gravel kind of stays on, you know, so you can kind of drive, but when they start digging, you know, it gets pretty sandy. But that's not very far off of 87 over there. So, you know, there's valves where we could run the sewer in a ways. Then we could tie on the water and bring that in. And we could do those services and then we could kind of, you know, not just do that one section, but at least when we're done digging, you know, we could dump a load of gravel there and be able to get people to that driveway. So,
And we did put plenty of like watering ports on there so we can
Yeah.
constantly water stuff as we're back. That's the biggest thing, that if you can water it, you can drive over it pretty good, but
Depends on what-
It is soft or something.
yeah, it doesn't get like powdery like this.
Oh, yeah, I noticed
Yeah.
that was really powder, yeah.
Depends on what you're driving too. If it's a
Yeah.
low clearance car with small tires, it's not good.
Yeah.
No.
I
Well,
mean,
some-
I noticed this morning when I came in, you know, there's people parked all over, overlooking the lake, like just sitting there this morning, and I kind of, do they do that all the time?
A lot of guys go for lunch, you go for coffee,
Oh,
you know, they
Yeah.
might have a boat, you know,
Oh.
water in there just
Sure.
for a break. So that whole stretch, I mean, that's.
yeah, I see, I mean, there was somebody sleeping there, and there
Yeah.
was like 5 cars parked there, and everybody just sitting and watching.
Yeah, it's just a cool scene, just go to, I know a lot of guys just go and have their breaks there and.
So is that parking, you know, when they do park, you're not taking any more trees down, correct?
I believe they're all done now, yeah.
All the trees are down, so, and then there still will be like a parking space. Is that,
Yes,
okay,
along the lake,
yeah, like
Yeah.
kind of where they are
Guys can park in
by the
there.
boat landing,
parking lane
a parking lane.
along the driving.
Where they can park their boat trailers.
So, well, no, are sitting parking enjoying the lake right now, but now they are gonna have to park in a parking lane, not, they won't be able to park into the lake.
Not directly facing the lake, no. Because we have parking lane and then we have the beach sidewalk on that lake side of the roadway. That goes all the way from Highway 87 and Cottonwood and wraps it down around to the city beach. for Rail access.
Some guys with boat think they like it, but
So is that concrete behind the curb along the lake there? That shaded area on,
Yes,
oh,
I believe so, yeah.
so that's a drive over curb then, and they can just drive up on there, like the shaded stuff right here.
Yeah, that's all sidewalk.
Uh-huh.
Yep. And then a curb line.
Yeah,
But you
And
can't
some-
drive over it though.
Some of that curb line along the sidewalk is drive over. So when the city does have the fireworks display, they're going to allow people to get up on the sidewalk, drive over and park facing the
Park,
fire.
yeah, that
Yeah.
really will fit in a lot more vehicles.
but even like guys with boat trailers, you know, that. That parking on the front end, they're gonna get about 4 in there. So,
But we got a pretty good length,
yeah, just so they're, yeah.
about a couple hundred feet. That's
Okay.
pretty sure. And then there's parking on
I think he should leave.
Both.
Into,
Baltham.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
we can.
Yeah.
Along in front of the church. That's all. Up and down.
And then I own
One.
scripts and the ones here.
And parking. Past what I'll call the little island that had a
Yesterday, that was.
in it, in the middle of the road. We'll be parking along there before you get up to the beach parking too.
Like to be more than it seems like.
But, so like right now, it's all like kind of a one way though, right? Or will people be able to kind of go back? So they dump their boat in the water and then they have to go up and back around 87 to park.
Yeah, it'll be their choice where they park, I guess, you know.
But
There's
there's gonna be-
opportunities where they can park various ways, but. Yeah, they may have to, you know, spin around the block, come back in and park it. If nothing's available, they can make.
But you're not limiting it to just like a one way only directional.
We can.
Yeah, and then. I had a couple things, as far as the pay estimate cutoff, that's gonna be next Friday, July 31st. The council then meets on August 10th to consider that pay app.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, all that stuff you're just gonna send to Blake, probably.
Yeah, I get that off to him and his signature approval. Other than that, yeah, anything before we,
Just the payoff, that what did we had, I have one more question on that. Not the payoff, but where's all the money coming from?
the money's coming from, city has applied for grant funding through what's called the Public Facilities Authority. And we're waiting for a final determination on that grant amount. And And then also, through assessments, property assessments, is the other avenue. Yeah, that's where we're at right now with,
Just the two sources.
and anything that the city puts towards the private, well,
Like from the city general fund.
general fund, if they pass levy or something. We're picking up a lot of the beach area improvements. So that helps in that area. As far as water and sewer. Again, the sewer, there's limited funding available for that.
So that's on the city, that's on the residents.
That's on the residents and
Sure. And the water, I presume.
the water, is hoping they're not getting a grant portion to help cover some of that.
But what about all the extra, parking, sidewalk?
The city's picking up a lot of that cost in that area.
Hey,
Hi,
Chris, how are you doing?
good, how are you?
Pretty good. You got a big project here again, huh?
Oh, yes.
Well, I don't like that you didn't have a red carpet for me to drive here on, but that's okay.
Next time, okay?
Yeah, okay.
All right. Yeah, that's where we're at. The final assessment hearing would be coming up this fall. Once the city does have determination on the grant funding. And has a chance to look at all the assessment valuations.
I thought that this was gonna happen before the project started. That's what Jody said. One of the meetings in the spring, that we could still put a hard stop on this if we find out we can't get grant money, or we can't. If we have the final numbers. So I thought, once I saw the asphalt being dug, I was like, wow, we must got funding and the final numbers, and then I heard later we don't. I'm like, is this just an open ticket project?
The city does have an estimate of what the grant funding is, but we're waiting for final determination before we let that out publicly. So that's,
Okay,
yeah. Because the grant, or the funding agency, I should say, hasn't gone through the final paperwork, but they did a preliminary number for the city. City has that. Also, on top of that, we got a great bid from the contractor, so
You can thank us for being the cheapest ones.
Yep.
well, thank you, because it's hard to be excited about a project when you don't know what the cost is gonna be.
Mhm.
I don't know who does business like that, but it's kind of scary actually, because preliminary, our taxes already are high, and those two houses are gonna double. So that's not,
There goes your profit.
that's not comforting in doing business. I mean, and then to sell a house, I do real estate, to sell a house that has taxes that are gonna be in the 4,000 to 5,000 a year. I mean, people are gonna, that worries me, is the sellability of these homes, so.
Mm.
This is a real problem, so thank you, however, still not. I like to see numbers and then I can feel better.
Yeah, we'll get there with the final assessment process. Once we
Yeah.
know all the numbers, so.
Yeah, my taxes go up anymore. I'm moving around the town.
Terrible, I mean, it's,
I mean, it's the way it is.
But I mean, the project notwithstanding, since I've been in Monaga, we've raised taxes under 3% total. So we're where the rubber meets the road. The city, we are. And I would truly ask, take your frustrations and let the county know this. Wadena, it's either the 7th poorest or 7th highest taxed, or the 2nd highest taxed, or the 2nd poorest. It's one of those two. There is a discrepancy there. And I know that they're going to tell you that everything's necessary, but they send the assessors out, they assess your home, and by the way, it's worth $30,000 more magically this year. And I know I'm being a little facetious because it's frustrating for me. And then they're going to also raise the taxes on the county by X amount percentage as well.
And you got the school tax on top of that.
On top of that, exactly. And I know the school last year was just under 15%. That's high. And so from the city's perspective, we're standing here like we're putting in a lot of time and effort into our budgets, into how we are generating revenue, how we are spending it. We're doing our part here. And I can say that with full faith and confidence that the city council is behind that. Reach out to your state representatives. You have to make your voices heard. I am speaking to my state rep at least once a month, Christina Knudsen. The last time I emailed her was because, hey, when are you going to take the moratorium on nuclear energy off for Minnesota? Can we get that on the next legislative session? Because there's been a ban on it since 1994. What are we doing? We're not a serious state right now. If our energy prices are just skyrocketing, and cheap energy is what makes an economy flow. So what's happening? And I mean, I'm not going to tell you the conversations I have with her, but I can tell you they're not optimistic from my point of view. And it's tough to be there in that scenario. There's so much potential here, but we're just not doing it. Okay, got it.
It's just Monogah's had a reputation of high taxes,
Well,
going back for long.
you know, I can say that I'd be happy to walk you through our budgets and let you look at where it's going.
There's stuff you guys are spending and whatever it is, but Monogah's had a reputation of high taxes versus other. And Medina County, they're starving. They need every nickel they can get because they have no income.
And
No sources of income, no lakes, no industry.
and so you're without getting too far off the construction topic here, it's a conundrum, right? It really is. But I truly believe that if you let people have more of their own money, they are going to spend it, and it's going to benefit everybody.
Well,
But-
obviously.
But no one wants to take that risk.
So going back to this
Yeah,
project. in
sorry,
rel-
I'm off my soapbox here.
But in relation to your conversation and this project and the longevity of the notorious Monaga taxes, this is spending other people's money is probably the easiest thing that people can do. And the taxes in Monaga have raised because there probably has been leadership in the past that have done things that have ultimately cost the residents more than they probably should have. And then a project like this, it's like, oh, let's put this here and that here and this here. It's like, wow, we got all the money in the world to spend. And I'm like, who said we had to have Grand Central at the lake? Like, I know we need sewer and water, but do we need 75 million pounds of asphalt and 85 million pounds
So
of
that is
concrete?
not
Like,
that's not what's happening.
well, I mean, it's a
But-
big project. I'm just like, did we need
We do have to replace. streets.
100%?
We do have to replace streets. Keep that in mind. We're trenching through. So to replace these streets with proper streets with drainage. So we're not just flowing everything to the lake. That was considered as part of the design. So that's where the curb and gutter comes into play. A lot of the streets we kept narrow. Keeping them narrow helps with keeping the cost down. It helps with reducing traffic that thinks they can go fast. You have that confining effect on the driver that helps moderate speeds through that area.
It's there already. It is a narrow street. You can't go fast on the street if you wanted to.
It is what having a curb and gutter there is a more of a visual for the driver to tone in their speed limits. And that's proven fact. So that's, a consideration along with the drainage capture for the storm sewer, not going directly to the lake and runoff. So
We're
With the-
sand, which is the best filter in the world, and all your building structures to do, do something with it.
we're using the sand with these closed drainage structures into a perforated pipe and a rock bed down in the sand. That's how we're getting rid of the drainage instead of directly outletting it to the lake. So there's,
Does that ultimately go into the lake though, after it's been filtered?
there is an overflow during the Ono storms
Yeah,
that will take it into a pond, a filtration pond that has an outlet to the lake if needed. But we're probably not going to see much ever get there unless you have a 6-inch rain in 20 minutes. And
yeah.
we had to have something for that. The other thing is, we added parking that is on pavement versus the parking where it's on gravel or grass now. The reason to do that is, amenities down by the lake. We wanted to have good parking, enough parking for for people along with sidewalk access for ADA accessibility and those biking or walking to and fro, so. Amenities, yeah, they're well needed in that area. And with the outlook of, hey, this is gonna be in place for the next 50 years plus for the city, that was the time to do it, so. So the higher cost going in to the project, it's not something that the city said, hey, look, give us the Cadillac. We want Cadillac here. It was well thought out and well positioned for the next 50 years. Those improvements go.
Well, I mean, yeah, the design, yeah, it will change it. But I still look at it as a cost, you know, that's not gonna go away ever. It's not like, you know. Yeah, after the assessments, that's one thing, but historically, city taxes don't ever go down. There's always something else that needs to be done, so.
I mean, you're asking me to comment on the economy, the strength of the dollar. I can't.
Well. No, who can?
You're gonna have to call your state senator, your federal senator, your federal representative. I mean,
But
like,
this is kind of where even the residents that live in town here, this is where our voice starts. And then it goes out, like if we just didn't ever, nobody ever said anything, sat back. I mean. I don't.
well, no, I mean,
Right.
your concerns are noted and they're heard, right? And I'm the one that will eventually be speaking with these individuals, right? Because I will communicate with them. It's usually their staff. I tell them what's going on. I tell them that the fact that they're just giving away billions of dollars places when all I need is like 3.5 million. Okay, like make it make sense to me, right? So I get it, and well, I'm just not going to get political, and I'm not going to comment. But I can say that at every level, there's funding that, in my opinion, Brett's opinion, it's misappropriated, and it should be where it belongs here in America, here on our infrastructure, our roads that will benefit everybody. But
I mean, all this stuff starts at the city level. I mean, if you're, whatever the situation,
Yeah,
it starts here. And then you like, you're saying, okay, it mushrooms up, it's gotta go through our state legislative, but you know, we're gonna get administration now that doesn't care. Then it's gotta go beyond that to the national, you know, but we got a long, you know, we got an uphill battle like this just to get out of the state for getting government, you know, federal help. Cause these guys down there now, they don't know what dollar is. They spend it like it's,
oh yeah,
they're
sailors.
drunken sailors. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's the worst thing we ever seen.
All right, we kept you guys long enough.
If you ever, I mean, the invitation's always open. If you want to see how we're managing everyone's money, come on in.
Thank you.
Always open.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.
Can I just ask it? I live a long ways from here, so I'm just curious, like, what are the taxes roughly?
Okay, I got a house that's raised at, around 300, 280, 250 maybe, and the taxes are $3,500. I lived in a house in Arizona that was 5 times that value, and their taxes were less than this one. I mean, you know, a number of years ago, but just values. And my house is only 20 years old, so it's not an old house.
I'm just curious, cause.
Yeah. But see, Medina County, like he was saying, just for discussion, they have no lakes like Hubbard County or the surrounding county. They got all kinds of revenue from their lakes. Medina has no industry to speak of, so they get no revenue from that. They're gonna stick it to all the individuals where in some of these other counties, you know, they got the lake revenue, they got industry revenue. You know, so it's their individual homes are a little different, like in a home situation.
Yeah, just to put in perspective, I pay double that. I'm on a gravel road with no gas, no sewer, no water, dust everywhere. And like, there's no amenities of a blacktop road or, storm sewer, so that's without anything.
I got a hunk
And
of
it's
land.
double that, so like, it's not just this area thing to me, it's like
Yeah.
everywhere.
I got a hunk of land, 50 acres south of town, and then it costs me $1,000 a year for taxes, and then just going trees and grass,
Mhm.
you know?
So let me just show you a quick example of the tax. So this is 273K. Should show us our tax assessment down here, and then we're gonna go look at Becker County real quick, which is just that way. Okay, property taxes. So I mean, let's just take it for what it's worth. In 2025, it was 25.26. Just keep that. Oh, looks like it actually went down. All right, interesting. Yeah, we can go up to Hubbard actually. Oh, okay, 289 right here. Okay, so, right about the same.
2024,
Yeah, it's from 24.
so that you compare that 3,000 to 26,
Yeah,
at least.
all right, Becker County, where's Frazee? On that up, you got it.
Taxes might be higher than that one you picked because it has like 6 or 7 acres
Oh, does?
attached to it, yeah.
Yeah,
Three?
yeah, 3.
3 acres.
Well,
Okay.
let's take a look. Okay, so even with, look at that tax assessed value at 173, it's 28. They got some acreage. What's the ask on this? 275. Okay.
Now, Frazee went through some huge renovating on their streets, so
Oh, okay. So this is what this is in the city, and this is at 1700.
25.
Yeah, that's not too bad. But they got DL right there. I mean, they got pretty robust population.
Well, they got a lot of tax base, I mean, lakefront properties and. It makes a big difference.
In Becker County, yeah. All right.
Okay.
Thanks again. We'll see you here next week.
Yeah.
Right,
All right.
thank you.
Thank you.
So I think, Chris, when we do removals over there, we'll just stop before we get to the parking lot.
Thanks for pulling people off.
Because there's a house right there too, and there's hydrant. Where I think we'll stop doing removals, by house number 19 there. And maybe just on this side of this intersection, we'll just let like this area, and we'll just do all the work in there. And then we'll just block this off kind of tight right here. So these people,
Can use
they can use it
beach
as long as
parking.
possible, and we'll just do this tie-in and that sewer at the end.
Okay.
Because we can test it separately. There's a hydrant on there.
Right.
And then we'll just do this at the we'll just kind of do everything else.
That's a good plan.
So I'm kind of,
Figure it out.
kind of glad they're figuring that out because, you know, it makes you think out ways of shortening things up and they gotta understand, we do gotta still put the pipe in there.
Yeah, so it will be disruptive.
Yeah. But it is, that's enough where we can just dump a couple loads of gravel there and get them into that driveway.
Don't understand why they can't use the alley to
Yeah.
park just off the alley in the back.
That alleyway's not big enough.
They can't get onto any grass back there?
No.
Okay,
We'll get them in here.
all right.
This one, they can park right on front there. And that way the church parking is fine for a long time. And
Mhm.
I mean, it is gonna have to get ripped out at some time, but you know, hopefully towards the end, Tom is caught up right behind us and
The only alley we're looking at is paving is a shell.
One shell, you know.
And another one going behind VFW that had no plan on paving.
No. Unless the city wants to. Your wish is our command is,
I'm gonna be one of them that decide to have later on.
yeah.
So with the contract separate. Yeah.
so I'll just capital like for it all.
Yeah.
Keep aware that that area down there is pretty sensitive.